Hey there, Jenn Dize here for Status Coup, and it's time to talk about Ghislaine Maxwell. As you know, Ghislaine Maxwell was at one time Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend, but also his right-hand lady. Jeffrey Epstein, alleged child trafficker, sex trafficker, alleged child molester, alleged child rapist. Ghislaine Maxwell was his right hand, and she allegedly would help to find, procure young girls for Jeffrey Epstein to have sex with, and also other elites. There are rumors about Prince Andrew, for example. There are rumors about a lot of people in high-powered places. So Ghislaine Maxwell is a very big deal. Obviously, Jeffrey Epstein died, they say by suicide, last summer. We all know that that's not the case. I don't have journalistic evidence that that's not the case, but I think anyone with a working brain knows that Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself. So now we have Ghislaine Maxwell, currently in jail from the start of this month. Here we are in July of 2020. From the start of this month, she's been in jail. And we have some kind of good news today. I want to say great news, but it's only kind of good news because when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, strange things seem to happen. So let's dive into the story. The gist of it is that a judge has ruled that some very, very important documents can be unsealed related to this case. This, what I'm reading from, is the Miami Herald. And if you are not familiar with the Miami Herald, they deserve major, major kudos for their deep dive investigative reporting on the Jeffrey Epstein case. And they are due a lot of credit for the fact that Jeffrey Epstein was even in jail last summer. It's because of them. It's because of their deep dives, their digging, their investigation, their persistence that we've gotten as far as we have. So now we have out of the Miami Herald, judge orders release of Jeffrey Epstein records in response to Miami Herald litigation. A federal judge in New York on Thursday ordered the unsealing of key documents from a settled civil lawsuit involving Ghislaine Maxwell and victims alleging sex abuse and trafficking by the late Jeffrey Epstein. Senior District Judge Loretta Preska ruled from the bench in a telephonic hearing that the public interest in the matter outweighed Maxwell's claims that the documents, including depositions of central players in the Epstein saga, would prove embarrassing or interfere with ongoing legal matters. So I want to give a shout out to this judge. She's not apparently listening to Ghislaine Maxwell's pleas that this would be embarrassing for her. This would interfere with ongoing legal matters. No, this judge says this is in the public interest. Here we have a case of alleged sexual assault of minors. A lot of people say underage women. That's not the case. There's no such thing as underage women. These were children. So thankfully, this judge, Loretta Preska, ruled that these documents be unsealed. So let's hop back into the article. Maxwell's opposition to the push for unsealing mounted by social media personality Mike Cernovich, and that's another kind of segue that I'll touch on. Mike Cernovich is a well-known kind of alt-right labeled figure who has a lot of controversial takes and has done a lot of controversial things going back to Gamergate and things like that. But he is, associated with the progress in this case. So just a side note there. So Mike Cernovich and the Miami Herald, as it prepared to publish a series of articles on Epstein titled Perversion of Justice, had long preceded her arrest on July 2nd at a secluded New Hampshire mansion on allegations that she helped shepherd women and underage girls to Epstein for sexual abuse. She has pleaded innocent but was denied bail in a July 14th hearing. The 2015 civil lawsuit was brought by Virginia Giuffre, who alleges Epstein abused her when she was 17 and that Maxwell recruited her when Giuffre was a spa assistant at Palm Beach's Mar-a-Lago, owned by now President Donald Trump. Obviously, you're very aware, you are an alert person who understands that not only was Donald Trump associated with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, so were the Clintons, so were a lot of people. Ghislaine Maxwell was at Chelsea Clinton's wedding. Like, they were friends. They traveled together. So this is a wide web of elites doing very bad things, which is what these documents could help us uncover. As a result of the court's decision, at least a dozen documents, including both Virginia Giuffre and Ghislaine Maxwell's deposition transcript, will be unsealed. The decision also lays the foundation for hundreds more to be released, said Christine N. Walls, an attorney with Holland & Knight who represented the Herald. Preska's ruling affects J. Doe 1 and J. Doe 2. Non-parties who petitioned the court and whose identities will now be revealed. There has been speculation as to their identities, and Thursday added fuel to the fire because it did not say whether these were Jane Doe or John Doe petitions. Neither J. Doe 1 or J. Doe 2 objected to the release of these documents. So basically, the J. Does their names will still be redacted, and they have not objected to the release of these documents. So the documents ordered unsealed by Preska are from the process of discovery, where lawyers from each side can ask detailed questions of each other's witnesses ahead of a trial. Specifically, they were motions already decided on by a judge who first heard the civil lawsuit from Epstein victims against Maxwell. Lawyers for Maxwell had argued that unsealing the documents could prejudice witnesses or victims in other outstanding cases. Well, yeah, if like hearing the facts about that you trafficked children for sex and abused children for sex, if that prejudices the jury or the public, I think that's okay, because these are just the facts. Or at least the facts as they were portrayed by Virginia Roberts Giuffre and Ghislaine Maxwell. So, ridiculous, as lawyers will be. Giuffre had no immediate comment, neither did Maxwell. Preska said the presumption of public access to these documents far outweighed any rights to avoid embarrassment or annoyance claimed by Maxwell. She ordered the relevant documents readied for unsealing within a week, but gave Maxwell's lawyers a week to file an appeal. If that doesn't happen, the documents would begin hitting the docket next Thursday. So this is why I said kind of curb your enthusiasm, because the document, like, they still have a chance to appeal this decision, which of course would delay the potential eventual rejection of that appeal and the eventual potential release of the documents. So while I hope it happens, I'm not holding my breath that these documents will actually be released next week. I hope so, but I really don't think it'll happen. Something else will happen to delay this. Something will happen. The New York judge had ruled against the Miami Herald in February in its effort to have her reconsider. So this is of course a victory. The prosecution of Maxwell, who is 58, in the Southern District of New York is being closely watched since the alleged madam rubbed shoulders with Hollywood A-listers, Britain's Prince Andrew, and famous politicians, including Bill Clinton and Trump. Trump made headlines this week by using a coronavirus news conference to say he wished Maxwell well in her legal troubles. This is something when President Trump said that he wished Ghislaine Maxwell well in that press conference, I was shocked. I still can't figure out what my take is about that. I don't understand why he did it. They're obviously Trump fans who were like, oh, it was clearly he mentioned her so that her name would be in the media because people weren't talking about her. So now they are. Thank you, Trump. Which, of course, is baloney. Other people think it's because he's implicated. Other people think it's I don't know. There's a lot of theories out there. I think it's just Trump being crazy. And he was friends with Ghislaine. And so maybe he does wish her well. Maybe that's all there is to it. But she's an alleged sex criminal and pedophile. Why is our president wishing her well? It makes no sense on any planet. Jeffrey has said Maxwell recruited her for Epstein and that she was directed to have sex with numerous prominent men. That includes famed attorney Alan Dershowitz, who has consistently denied the accusation. Dershowitz praised Preska's decision. Dershowitz, sorry for stumbling over my words here, represented Epstein on legal matters and was a friend of Epstein. And this is just kind of a summary of her arrest and things like that. And there we go. So obviously we have to say allegedly here. Allegedly, Ghislaine Maxwell did these really horrific things and is a really horrific person. And what is known is that Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell were friends with the elite of the elite of the elite all around the world. And I think it's important. Obviously it's important for these documents to come out. It's important for the truth to come out. It is in the public interest that these documents come out, and a hell of a lot more. We have a long way to go. And by the way, her trial is not until next year. Like, what? A lot of people are speculating that obviously Epstein didn't last that long in jail. So how long will Ghislaine Maxwell last? Will she blow the whistle on these elite pedophiles in order to save herself? What's going to happen? Nobody knows. And all that I know is that justice for these sexually abused young girls needs to happen. I'm going to keep reporting on the Epstein case, Ghislaine Maxwell, the associated figures, everything that comes out. I'm going to stay on this because it is so important to me and to it should be important to everybody that justice is served here. That even though someone's elite, or even though someone has political power, or even though someone has money, it doesn't mean they can get away with this. So let's stay on it, and you stay well out there. Bye-bye.